Before we go any further, I want to be clear about the nature of this conversation. These are confidential remarks. They're not designed for headlines, and they're not designed to make anyone comfortable. What I'm going to share with you isn't theory, and it isn't commentary from the outside. It's an inside look at how price leadership in real estate actually works, why it has held for so long, and why it's starting to break. This isn't about blaming agents, brokerages, or regulators. It's about understanding the system we've all been operating inside of, often without naming it. Open access is not a pricing model. It's a framework for exposing control, restoring choice, and letting real markets function again. I am Steve Colino, and this is Confidential Remarks. Price leadership is often misunderstood because people want a villain. But this isn't a conspiracy, it's a market dynamic. When one dominant pricing model sets the anchor, everyone else follows. Not because they agree, but because deviating feels risky. Economies of scale reward survival at thinner margins. Brand power conditions consumers to accept a single reference price. And risk avoidance keeps competitors in line. No one has to collude. The system enforces itself. This is where control actually lives, not in contracts, but in culture. Commission norms become normal through repetition, not logic. Language is weaponized. Alternatives are labeled dangerous or inferior. And reinforcement happens when conformity is rewarded while deviation is quietly punished. When one group defines normal, everyone else stops competing. They start following. Full service sounds consumer-friendly, but it's actually a trap. Bundling hides the value of individual components and prevents comparison. It creates the illusion that all agents deliver the same outcome, which conveniently justifies the same price. Licensing creates the illusion of equality. Pricing behavior creates hierarchy. Full service is the lock that keeps the price fixed. Systems that rely on silence don't survive transparency. Consumers are asking questions scripts can't answer. Why am I paying the same fee for different skill levels? Why doesn't experience change the price? Why does effort matter more than outcomes? These aren't objections, they're fatal questions. Licensing sets the floor, it does not set the ceiling. Every other industry has performance tiers and outcome-based pricing. Real estate froze pricing in time and called it ethics. The threat isn't lower prices. The threat is pricing choice. Open access doesn't force lower prices. It forces justification. Services become modular. Price is explained, not defended. And consumers stop being managed and start participating. This is not deregulation, it's differentiation. In an open access market, value expresses itself in tiers. DIY is low cost and high effort. DWI is collaborative and shared. DFY is premium, outcome-based, and fully delegated. This kills price leadership because leaders no longer control normal. If price needs a script, it's being protected. The control model relies on one script, one price, and consumer steering. The open access model replaces that with clear options, modular services, and informed decisions. Consumers don't need to be convinced, they need to be shown. Price leadership protects the system. Open access protects the consumer. Normal is manufactured. Markets are discovered. In the old world, agents competed on who could best defend the standard fee. It was a battle of rhetoric. In the new world, agents compete on execution, visible skill, and menu diversity. Weak agents can't hide. Strong agents can charge differently. Price leadership in residential real estate isn't pricing. It's permission. Permission to normalize one fee and shame alternatives. Open access forces the industry to stop saying that's how it's done and start asking, what do you need? When one price feels normal, choice feels radical. The market is moving from control to choice. Licensing sets the floor. It does not set the ceiling. Open access doesn't tell you what to charge. It asks you to justify it. This has been Confidential Remarks.